Thank you for attending National Resource and Training Services Private Investigation Seminars. Today's class is Finding Missing People. My name is John Cook and I'll be your presenter. Proceed to the next slide. National Resource and Training Services is approved by the Tennessee Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission to give classes online. You can attend these classes at www.nrtsonline.com. Proceed to the next slide. Let's talk about locating missing persons. First of all, it's important to understand who is missing. This could be birth parents, deadbeat dads, deadbeat moms, renters, debtors, people avoiding process service, and runaways. And this is just to mention a few. There are many other categories of persons that could be missing. Some people are missing unintentionally, and some people are intentionally trying not to be found. There are problems in locating both groups of these people. Because of the internet and social media this day and time, it's made locating missing persons a different type of animal. We've got a lot more tools that are available to us as investigators to help locate missing persons today than ever before. Proceed to the next slide. Other groups of persons who could be missing are criminals, spouses, classmates, and old acquaintances. More and more we're being asked by persons to help locate people that they went to college with, went to high school with. Usually this is older persons who've recently widowed and are looking to regain some acquaintance that they had back during their school days. There can be many reasons for wanting to locate a missing person. As an investigator, I think it's very important, though, that we take into consideration the reason a client is wanting to locate someone. It's kind of difficult sometimes to be able to make sure that it's a legitimate reason that our client is wanting to locate a person that's missing. Make sure during your interview to get as much information as possible and make sure that it is a legitimate reason. Never try to locate a person if you get the feeling that your client is only attempting to locate this person to harass them or to stalk them. But if it's a legitimate reason, if they have a legitimate need to locate this person, then absolutely go after the case. Proceed to the next slide. This is by no means every category or group of people that could be missing or reasons to locate a missing person. So when you print this class out after you've taken your exam and you print your copy out to keep for your files, use this page to list a few other groups of people that may come to your mind that you could legitimately be looking for. Use this as an idea of how to promote your business. Proceed to the next slide. Also, when considering locating missing persons, think, who are my clients? Some of your clients are going to be attorneys. They're going to be looking for people that have been skipping out on child support, or they're going to be looking for people to have process served on, or they're going to be looking for witnesses to accidents or to crimes. There are a lot of people that attorneys are going to be needing you to locate. Banks. Usually this is skip tracing, people that have skipped out on bad loans. Same with loan companies. Small business owners. Proceed to the next slide. Other clients are going to be parents, auto dealers, especially the buy here, pay here auto dealers, and bonding companies, usually smaller bonding companies that don't have their own staff for locating people that have skipped out on bond. Proceed to the next slide. Once again, after you take your exam, you'll be given an opportunity to print out a copy of this presentation. Make sure and do this to keep for your files and for reference later on. But when you come to this slide, try and think of other persons who might be your clients. Take a few minutes and do this, and you can help build your client base. Proceed to the next slide. When locating missing persons, where do you start? Well, the very first thing to do is collect information. You need to collect all the basic and important information. Matter of fact, collect all the information you can possibly get. Things such as name, last known address. A lot of times I like to try to get their last 2 or 3 known addresses, if possible. Their social security number. Their last known active phone number. Also their last known cellular number. Proceed to the next slide. Other useful information to collect would be the last known vehicle that they were driving. If possible, the tag number. Person's date of birth. Who are their friends? How long has this person been missing? When you're doing skip traces, it's a lot easier to find a person that's been missing for 6 months than it is a person that's been missing for 6 days. Their last known employment. Also, what type of work do they normally do? Are they self-employed? Do they usually work as a laborer? Do they have special skills? Proceed to the next slide. What other information might we collect? After you print this program out, you come to this slide. Think of a few other bits of information you might want to collect, what they are, and make notes of them. Proceed to the next slide. In the old days, to locate a missing person, we either had to hit the pavement or hit the phones. Now, don't take me wrong, those are still very good avenues for locating missing persons and will be part of your search. But in today's society, the internet has changed everything, has especially changed the way we do our jobs as private investigators. And online, there are a lot of very good fee-based data providers that you can use when you're attempting to locate missing persons. It can make this job so easy. Now, you won't locate everyone this way, but a good percentage, probably upwards of 75% of the people you're looking for, you will be able to find in one of these databases. The first is IRB Search, which is irbsearch.com. Locate Plus, locateplus.com. Zaba Search, which is zabasearch.com. Intellus, intellus.com. And mylife.com. Proceed to the next slide. Other fee-based services is US Search, ussearch.com. Abaca, abaca.com. And USA Record Search, usarecordsearch.com. All of these are excellent services to use. Proceed to the next slide. After you print this program out, talk to some other investigators. Find out some of the services that they use that are fee-based providers. You'll find out that there are many out there. I'm finding new ones all the time just by talking to other investigators. Check them out for yourself. See how accurate the information is and what the cost is. Also, go online and Google and look for services yourself. There are new ones coming online every day. My best advice here, though, is to try them out first, especially if they have a free trial period. You want to try to get the most up-to-date and most accurate information you can get. The services that I've listed on the previous 2 slides are some of the better ones out there at this time. Proceed to the next slide. Let's talk about other sources of information when you're looking for missing persons. Social networking has changed society. We've all seen that in the last several months, especially with the situation over in Egypt, where social networking, Facebook, Twitter, applications of this type actually allowed hundreds of thousands of people to rally together to riot and go to the streets for democracy. It was amazing. If you'd have told me something like this could happen 10 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. But America and the world is united right now on social networking. It has put an amazing amount of free information out there. I always tell all the investigators that I talk to, before you use any fee-based service or pay money to try and locate someone or to try to locate any type of information, try the free avenues first. This will just increase your profit line. Plus, it gives you valuable experience on the internet and on the computer trying to locate information. You'll find places to locate information that you never thought were available. Some of these that are available for you to use is Google. It's unbelievable how much information you can find on a person just by Googling that person's name. Try it on your own name sometime and see what information is available on yourself out there. MySpace, although at first MySpace was probably the #1 social networking site out there, it's diminished in the last few years and has been taken over by Facebook. Facebook has millions of users worldwide. And for some reason, people love to put information about themselves on Facebook and also on MySpace. They'll put information, they'll put photos, even as important, they'll put family photos. They also have a friends network. This gives you an unlimited list of friends, people that they've associated with, that you can either contact or try to get information from. Many times I have found all the information I need on a person on Facebook, either on their site or on a friend's site. Now, if you don't have a Facebook account, as an investigator, I would recommend that you have one, simply to give you access to all the files and all the information that's out there. It's also good for business. I've set up a Facebook account for my business and have gotten many contacts through that Facebook. But keep in mind, social networking is a valuable place to find information, photos that you can print out for your file, information such as what type of work a person does, how old this person is. So keep that in mind. You've got Google, MySpace, Facebook, Bebo, which is mostly for the UK. Proceed to the next slide. Even as we speak, there are other social networking sites that are coming online, and they have a habit of becoming very popular. Talk to other people you know. Go online and Google social networking to see what's out there. Ask your friends. And then take time to sit down and make a few notes here of some other social networking sites that you could use in your investigation when locating missing persons. One that I have recently started using that you can jot down is Spokeo.com. That's spelled Spokeo.com. Spokeo is a unique site that will allow you to enter a person's name or a phone number or an email address, and it will give you information on that person, things such as address or last known address, but also a link to all the social networking sites that this person has used either under that name or under that email address. It's just a little bit easier way of searching. Also, there's a site called mylife.com. See what other sites that you can find. Proceed to the next slide. Other sources of information to use when trying to locate a missing person. State licensing. Almost every state will have a state-run site that will give you names of persons that are licensed as medical professionals, private investigators, plumbers, contractors, realtors, nurses, doctors, anything that requires a state license. If your person has been licensed under any of these categories, or has to have a license to do the particular type of work that they do, that would be a great site to check and find out if that person is licensed in a new state. Public court records, credit headers, traffic tickets, property indexes. Most states are just like the state of Tennessee. There's a statewide property index where you can just run a person's name, or you can run an address to find out who owns the property. But it's a good way to find out if this person has maybe relocated to another county in your state and has purchased property. Professional licensing. When you're thinking about professional licensing, we were talking about people established in one profession usually stay in that profession. For example, if you were trying to locate a missing person and this missing person has been a private investigator most of their life, or they've been a nurse most of their life, most likely they'll still be doing that type of work. Once you get a good idea of the state they may be in, then check that state's licensing board to find out if they have reactivated their license or applied for license in that state. Proceed to the next slide. Other sources of information. White Pages Online, whitepages.com, Anywho.com. Both of these are places to locate phone numbers and addresses. Never discount this. Sometimes the free sites and the easiest information to obtain is the best. News publications. If the person that you're trying to locate is prone to getting in trouble, most news publications will publish local arrest records. It's a good way to find out if your person has been in any trouble in the new location they may be in. Payphonedirectory.com. Now, payphonedirectory.com is not a complete database by any stretch of the means. It's a work in progress, but it's growing every day. If during the initial gathering of information that you got from your client on the person that was missing, a lot of times we'll get phone numbers that have appeared on their caller ID. They may have gotten a call from this person. Of course, you're going to want to trace that phone number, whether it's a cellular number or a landline, to give you a good indication of where that person may be, or at least the city or town they may be in. But also, if that number came from a payphone, there's a good chance you may find that number in payphonedirectory.com. It's worth a try. Proceed to the next slide. Some things you want to consider when you're attempting to locate a missing person. When does the vehicle registration expire? If you know for a fact this person had a vehicle, or you know their last known vehicle, when does the registration expire? Now, if a person, for instance, leaves Cleveland, Tennessee, and they've got a vehicle with them, but their registration doesn't expire for another year, then most likely wherever they go to, they're not going to re-register that vehicle for quite a while. Let's say that vehicle registration has already expired or is just about to expire within the next 30 days or 60 days. That's an important piece of information to place in your file, especially if you know that 30 days from now that vehicle registration will expire. There is a chance that they'll renew that registration. If you have any clue of the state that they may be in, you may be able to find out if that vehicle has been registered there. That really depends on the type of missing person you're looking for. Someone that's running from the law probably is not going to register that vehicle. But a lot of persons and a lot of the categories of missing persons that we're looking for will. When does their driver's license expire? What are their hobbies? Especially when you start narrowing down the location of this person, or you get a good lead on the town they may be in. What are their hobbies? Do they bowl? Are they into arts and crafts? The area that they left, were they the type person that frequented a particular restaurant, which is a chain restaurant? People often return to where they came from. Remember that. A lot of times when you're looking for a missing person, for instance, if you've got their social security number, those first 3 digits of that number will tell you where that social security number was issued, which gives you a good indication of where that person is originally from. More than likely, they're going to have family there. And a lot of times a person that leaves one area will often return to where they came from. Holidays. When looking for a missing person, a lot of times there are certain holidays such as Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and sometimes a family member's birthday. But keep holidays in mind. Holiday is a good time to set up and watch a family member's home or place. This person that's been missing may just show up at that location because they're missing family, they're missing friends, and they're wanting to celebrate the holidays or just say hello. It's a good thing to remember when you're looking for a missing person. Proceed to the next slide. Other things to consider: there are usually 3 people who know where a person is: mom, dad, or the grandparents. Use a pretext with these people to get information. You can use the pretext of being a old college buddy. There's a refund of some sort that you need to get to this person. Use your imagination. There's all type of pretexts that you can use with these people to try and get information. Of course, never represent yourself as being a member of a legitimate company or an organization. In other words, don't call up and say that you're with SunTrust Bank. We all know about pretexts and how to use this and how not to use this. So make sure you use it properly. But you can get a lot of information from mom, dad, or the grandparents. Proceed to the next slide. Some miscellaneous things to keep in mind. Email. A person usually keeps his or her email address no matter where they go. If you do not have this info, check places like Locate Plus, one of your fee-based databases, or IRB Search, or Spokeo, Spokeo.com. These sites a lot of times will help you locate an email address. I have also located email addresses on persons simply by Googling that person's name. I recently located a missing person who had left the United States and was overseas by the person's email address. Simply because this email address is one of the items in this day and time that will follow you everywhere you go unless you change it. And most people don't, because they want to still be able to stay in contact with friends and family, and they feel like email is a safe way to do that. A person feels some level of security there, some level of privacy. So that email address is an important piece of information to have. The use of what we call spoof cards or gag cards. These are good to use when you want to contact family members or other persons under pretext. Spoof card simply is a card that you can purchase online, which allows you to call a person, but prior to placing that call, you're able to enter a number that you want to show up on that person's caller ID rather than the actual number you're calling from. This helps you a lot of times under your pretext. A lot of times simply just blocking the number from a person's caller ID won't get you anywhere, because most people this day and time do not accept calls from blocked numbers. So the use of a spoof card, some places call them gag cards, will really aid you in this endeavor. Just go online. You can usually purchase these cards for $29 to $50. Proceed to the next slide. When trying to decide what to charge for this service, keep in mind you've got two different types of service here. You have skip tracing, which is basically something you would charge a standard fee for, usually between $150 to $350. In other words, most agencies that want you to do a skip trace are not going to want you to put a lot of time into this or pay an hourly fee. So you'll want to charge between $150 to $350, just depending on what you can get in your area. In my area of East Tennessee, I charge $250 for a basic search. For cases more involved, for instance, the case that I recently worked where I was looking for a person who the family had a legitimate fear that they had been abducted or was being lured out of the country, which it turned out to be the case, I charge my regular hourly rate, plus I get a retainer up front to start the case, just like any other investigative case. When you're initially talking to your client, you make the determination as to what category you think this is going to fall into, and whether you're going to charge a flat standard fee or charge a normal hourly rate. Proceed to the next slide. Keep in mind that sometimes all the databases and all the online services in the world are not going to locate that person for you, and you're just going to have to hit the pavement, do it the old-fashioned way. But I think if you'll use a lot of the techniques that we've talked about, use a lot of the information sources that are available to you that we've discussed, you'll find that locating missing persons is a very, very profitable service to offer clients in this day and time. And there's a lot of people out there that are missing either by choice or not. So keep these things in mind when you're building your business, and I wish you the best of luck with it. Proceed to the next slide. National Resource and Training is a member of the American Training and Seminar Association. We'd like to thank you for attending this class. Please proceed to the final slide.